Hi guys, this personal and corporate finance planner, and I'm going to just quickly walk you through how it works. Uh, this is the incoming funds column. Here you record your sources of income for the month. So if you're expecting money from different places or different sources, you record them in this column here. Here is the amount you're expecting. So against the salary for the month, for example, you enter how much you're expecting here. Money from book sales or whatever income fund sources you have listed, you enter the amount you are expecting on this column here. Available is out of the money you're expecting. Say you're expecting 100,000. How much is available from it so far? This is useful especially when you are expecting money gradually. Say one of your source of income is an investment, and then it comes in gradually. You can keep increasing it on the available tab here. All right, so it helps you to enter the amount that is now available as it comes. The projected expenses is what will you be spending your income on this month. So the income you're expecting, what are you going to be spending it on? So these are just like a sample of my spendings. Budget is how much are you budgeting to spend on each of these that you have listed. Spent so far, how much from that budget have you spent? If you have spent more, you enter the amount. If you spent less, you enter it. If you spent exact, you enter it. This status is automatically shown to you, and what it indicates is it will help you to know if you are the amount that is the balance left is enough for you to spend on any of the expense, or if you have already spent that expense. So without wasting so much time, let's go and experiment on how this works. Here you can change the currency. So if you click this drop down here, you can change this to USD if you want, and you notice that here updates to USD, here updates to USD. So I'll just go back and change this back to NGN, which is the Naira, for this exercise. So let's say I'm expecting 100,000 here. Okay, you notice that the expecting amount here changes to 100,000. So I'm expecting 25,000 from here. I'm expecting 50,000 from here. I'm expecting say 30,000 from here. And I'm not going to borrow from friend now. Let's say I'm going to borrow from my friend if I run out of money, for example. So I'll just leave that empty. And now let's go and budget with the amount I'm expecting. I'm budgeting to spend 40,000 this month. So you see the budget is good. Why is the budget good? Because the amount you are expecting exceeds your budget. So you can say that the budget is good. So when your budget exceeds the amount you're expecting, you're going to get an over budget message. So my rent for the month, for example, is 100,000. Now you'll be wondering what this weight means here. This weight simply indicates that you can't spend it yet because the money is not available yet. It's just a budget, and the money you are still expecting funds. You have not indicated that the funds are available. So I'll just go ahead. Insurance is 10,000, for example. Clothes is 25,000 here. So let's say gas refill is 10,000 here. Budget is still good. Electricity bill is 15,000. Kids school fees is 30,000. So notice now that I've crossed into the over budget angle now. And why I'm in over budget is because the amount I'm expecting, which is here 205,000, is less than the budget. So I need to adjust my budget to accommodate this. So this helps you to plan. So I can say, okay, instead of spending this amount on feeding, why don't I spend 20,000 on feeding? And for clothes, why don't I just spend 15,000 so that I'm within budget, right? So this is good. No salary for the month has come in. It came in full, so I'll record the full amount. So balance is good. Why is balance good? And you can notice that the status of this has changed to can spend because the amount is available now, and you can spend on any of these if you want to. So let's go ahead and choose to spend. So far we'll spend 5,000 on feeding so far. So notice now that the rent has changed to weights. Why is that? Because the balance left, the 95,000 left here, can no longer pay for your rent, right? So you see, it helps you to know what to spend on per time. So let's say I go ahead and spend on health insurance. I pay my health insurance. So you see, if I spend the exact amount or I spend more than, it shows me spent here, which shows that I've exhausted the money for that. Let's say for clothes I overspent 20,000, spent as well, but then this will have an impact on my balance in the long run, because many of the things I have 65,000 left, and I can still spend on any of this if I want to, but I can't spend on rent. So I'll go ahead. uh Kids school fees 30,000, right? And let's say my feeding has increased. Now I've spent the whole 20,000 now on feeding. Now you can see that I have 20,000 left as balance. I can decide to spend it on cooking gas or electricity, because it shows me I can spend. So I go ahead and spend cooking gas 10,000. Now watch how electricity bill will toggle now to can't spend to wait, because the balance won't be enough. So you can see now that 10,000 is no longer enough to handle your electricity bill and your rent. And now notice that the balance is low here. The balance is low here indicates that you have spent more than 80% of the income that you have received for that month. So this helps you to know, oh, you are overspending, a way to, so it helps to guide you and make sure that you don't overspend, right? So let me just go ahead and overspend. For example, let's say I overspend, uh instead of this 10,000 that is here, let's say I spend 11,000. I'm going to undo that. I'm just going to show you something. You see that I've overspent for the month, and this is not good because my balance is now negative. So I will undo this. So what I'm going to do, let's say I have more money now coming in from other sources, and now we can now spend the electricity bill. Husband have sent the 550,000, and returns from investment have brought in another 30,000. So you can see I cannot pay my rent. I'll quickly go pay my rent, and now I have 15,000 left, which can I can spend on electricity bill, and everything is okay. So balance is now zero. Even though balance is low, it is zero, and I've spent exactly the income on my expense. So if you ever run out of funds, you can come in here and add in borrowed. Maybe you want to borrow 30,000 from your friend, and go ahead and write it down, 30,000 borrowed. Now you have to indicate it here that you have to pay back friend. You have to indicate it as an expense that you pay back, even though you are not paying back now, but you have to indicate it that you pay back here, so that you can now use the money that is available and spend on something else if you want to. All right, so I'm going to show you the chart quickly. You can see the chart now. You can see the blue in the chart indicates income. You can see that the red is high, which means that our expenses are as high as our income, and the balance is small, which indicates that the balance, the 30,000 we just borrowed, left. So what if you have a good spending habit? Say you didn't spend this so much money in a month. Let's say you didn't spend on this, and let's say you didn't spend on rent, and our balance is good. Let's see how our chart will look. You can see your balance is your expense is low and your balance is high. So this is how this works. This is a free sheet I'm gonna be sharing with you guys. You can check out for the link in the description, or the link will be on this page as well, so you can download this free version and use. There's actually a more advanced version, which by the time you get the free version, you'll be able to see how you can access the advanced version. All right, so that will be all. Thank you so much.